Hey everyone, hey, would like to introduce Dave Parkerson from Digitech Advisors. Dave's joined us today as our first partner that we've taken the opportunity to sit down and have a chat with. Dave, you and I caught up, it was around early March, I think. We had our first conversation and we connected via LinkedIn. And Dave and I hit it off in a morning, and within about a week or so, Dave and I, I'll be very honest, we did more work in a week with Dave than we did with a lot of partners that we had come across here in Australia prior. So Dave, first of all, I want to say thank you very much and welcome to the stratapp family because you're wearing the shirt. So mate, I'd love just to give everyone a little introduction of yourself on a personal front and a professional front, and we might get into a couple of questions.
Okay, that sounds great, Marty. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to be here. First of all, currently I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Digitech Advisors. We provide leading-edge digital technology solutions that help to drive efficiency, revenue and profits, cultural enhancement, and cost reduction for mid-market and enterprise organizations. And obviously, when I first encountered Marty and Ash's baby, stratapp, I looked at it from a perspective of spending about 20 years or so in the process and technology consulting area with a number of major companies and smaller companies. And in looking at the stratapp platform, I looked at efficiency, accountability, and visibility. It basically was something very new, different, and exciting to solve the major issues that my clients had with basically having a single source of truth or a single platform that functioned as a framework to comprehensively keep track of your entire business. Basically everything from high-level strategy down through execution, through KPIs and OKRs of projects, all the way down to the day-to-day work and the collaboration piece. And the key elements that most people had not seen and were lacking were the capturing the strategy and keeping up with it on an ongoing basis, which many of the companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies that I've dealt with keep their strategy in a binder on a credenza somewhere and still don't have the ability to work with it on a daily basis and course correct as needed, et cetera. And the marrying this capability to the day-to-day work or collaboration across the enterprise, not just within projects, is the thing that everybody has been missing and that stratapp brings to the table. So terribly excited about my association with stratapp. I know it is the next really big thing in the digital tech area. And Marty, I'm looking forward to bigger and better things as we move forward.
That's awesome, Dave. I really appreciate it. Dave, actually, what everyone would be interested to know, what were you doing prior to working with Digitech and stratapp, launching Digitech?
Well, typically I spent the last couple of years in the strategy software as a service area with a competitive company that did strategy and execution, Ocean Camry type strategy, X Matrix, et cetera, pretty complicated stuff. And essentially was a well thought out, a pretty good product that has been around for a lot of years. But the unfortunate thing is the collaboration was limited to collaborating within an individual project. So consequently, even the company as well as the clients had to use different Slack and email and individual spreadsheets, et cetera. It didn't really eliminate a lot of the static software programs that stratapp does eliminate. And prior to that, I spent a lot of years in Lean Six Sigma process-oriented consulting sales to basically selling software as well as process improvement in major packages to enterprise level Fortune 1000 type corporations.
Yeah, love it. And that's what I found really intriguing when I met with you early March, the fact that you'd actually been doing this 2 years prior with organizations primarily in the US, trying to find a solution in the strategy and execution space, which I thought was very cool. Now, share it with everybody. Where are you based?
I'm based in the nation's capital in Washington, D.C. area in Alexandria, Virginia. Used to be down in Palm Beach for a number of years, but I've been here for about 3 years, and great area, good access to everywhere in the country, and a lot of good people and companies here.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, and Dave, I just wanted to ask, you and I have we've circumnavigated the world. Dave and I have spoken to people in Brazil, Canada, US, Switzerland, with Novartis was one of our first calls that we did together, Germany, Belgium, UK. When we think about it from some primary markets, there's not a lot we haven't done in that 3-4 months. As you and I have gone through these meetings together, what do you think the biggest problem where we as stratapp is solving with the prospects and clients that we've spoken to?
Well, I firmly believe that, and I mentioned previously, obviously, is to have a mechanism where the corporate strategy of a company, the overarching multi-year strategy, can be captured within a framework and then cascaded down through the organization all the way to the daily work or task level, where everybody on board understands what it is the company's trying to do and how they're going about doing it, and are enabled to keep up with it, align it, and basically hold everybody responsible for getting it done.
Yeah, great. And if we look at the buyer side, because we have sat down with now dozens of organizations, what do you think from the buyer side? Who's the primary buyer that's taking control of trying to solve the strategy and execution problem?
Well, we've dealt a lot with folks from the number of the senior executive positions, but primarily we are finding more substantial interest within the CIO organization and the IT area, particularly obviously there are digital functional areas of a lot of these major companies. And the sincere interest primarily is coming from those areas, even when it's passed down. Many times the CEO will hand it off to the IT area or one of the function areas in that area. That's been our best understanding, where folks are aware of the evolution of technology and where it's headed. And we think we're the future. And that's what the information systems guys understand.
Yeah. Actually, if I recollect one of the first observations you made, because Dave has done a phenomenal job on connecting with organizations that he's known in the past, but also organizations that are looking to solve the problem. Is Dave, one of the things you said was the amount of C-suite that are responding to my messages of how to solve this problem, what would the outcome look like, was something that you hadn't actually seen before. And I think that's because we are playing at the strategy level, and then we take them on the journey of how do we help them execute those elements so they can get visibility. I've got one more question for you. So based on your experience and based on dealing with stratapp and Ash and I over the past couple of months, what do you think stratapp is different?
Well, I think the key element to me is the flexibility. One of the key things is the flexibility within stratapp itself, as to having the intention to improve the software, match customer demand and what the customer needs. And I think that's a key thing, that as well as very cost effective. The other primary element, in addition to the capturing and execution of strategy, is that overarching collaboration, enterprise-wide collaboration, which to my knowledge doesn't really exist in a platform similar to this. And it's a brilliant framework to encompass everything that moves in a company, starting with the ground up with the day-to-day work, and all the way up to the top executives and the 3 to 5 year goals that they're responsible for.
Yeah, love it, Dave. All right, so I thank you very, very much. I mean, what we've been able to achieve in such a short period of time together is phenomenal. I've been in B2B SaaS for nearly 20 years, and I even said to the founders of Concur recently, how we've been able to actually find partners, connect with partners, go global in a very short period of time is something that would take a traditional B2B SaaS company 10 years to do. And a lot of that is thanks to you. So I just wanted to say thank you very much on behalf of Ash and I and the stratapp team. Our target segment is 50 to 5,000 employees. Dave's been incredibly successful connecting with organizations as small as 300. We've had a couple of conversations with smaller companies. We had a conversation with a company this morning with 1,000. But Dave's also managed to connect with organizations as large as 165 and 200,000 employees. And that's when we're really trying to find the innovative divisions of those organizations to be able to start a pilot, and we've been successful in doing that as well. So Dave, mate, I really appreciate it joining us, and thank you very much. And I look forward to continuing the journey with you.
Marty, my thoughts as well, and certainly thank you for including me in the wagon.
Good man. All right, mate, we'll talk soon.
Take care.